What's poppin'? I'm Nagami Chagami, and today, as you can see by the title of the video, this is the battle of budget speakers. So obviously there's a bunch of other budget speakers, but the three we're going to discuss today are the Klipsch ProMedia 2.1, the Logitech Z623 or 625. They're both basically the same thing, it's just the 625 as an optical input. And then the Harman Kardon SoundSticks. Alright, so as usual, I'm going to take a look at the website for each of these speakers and show you the specs. So let me start recording my screen. Alright, we're recording. So first off, Klipsch ProMedia 2.1. Here we are, klipsch.com. Bruh, the Wi-Fi here, like my apartment for college, is absolute garbage. It is so bad. Alright, but that's besides the point. Let's scroll down, because on the Klipsch website they have their details at the very bottom for some reason, but here it is, what we're looking for, the spec sheet. Now both this and the Logitech ones are THX certified, but like we really don't care about that. That's just like, you know, durability of the product. And yes, THX does have like better bass, but I'm usually here for music, and THX is better for, I would say, movies and gaming. So here we are. System power, the satellites 18. Continuous is what matters. Short term is, you know, the peak it can reach, but that's usually what like sellers scam people with by just putting in like the short term peak amount of power that a speaker can do. But what we're interested in is that, so 18 and then 65 for the built from 2018. Okay, this is a newer version, but the specs should be around the same. So let's look at the other stuff. Subwoofer, bass reflex, usual. With Klipsch, it's their proprietary technology. You know, my Tractrix horns are their thing. Let me see if I can show you what they look like. The Klipsch horns, like that. No, go away. Right here. Alright, so let me see if I can search up Klipsch ProMedia 2.1 original spec sheet. So here's the one I'm looking for. So I did buy it used, and based on the model number and everything, I do have the older version. So there's not really that much of a difference, except that the older one does have more power, basically. So built from 2000, satellites are 35 watts and 130 watt subwoofer. These are peak, but 50 continuous. So the main difference, like on the spec sheet, is the weight and frequency response. So this one goes down to 31. I'll just open both of them. Now, I'm spending a lot more time on just this one system than I wanted to, but it is what it is. So the newer one, 17 pounds, from 35 to 22. So 4 hertz difference in bass isn't going to change anything, and 2 kilohertz above 20 isn't really going to change anything. So the sound quality is basically the same, I would say. Now, enough with the Klipsch. I'll give you my thoughts about the sound and everything at the end of this video. This is just for you to see the spec. Alright, Logitech Z623. So like I said, The 625 is literally just the 623 with an optical input. So if you really want that, you can put down the extra money it costs, but I'd say it's not worth it. So this starts at 120. The Klipsch was at 130. Both you could get on Amazon for around 100. So let's find the specs. Here are the specs. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't give you a frequency response, but you know, it's basically the same thing. 130 for the sub, and the satellite's 235s. And let me see if I can just search Logitech Z623 frequency response. Yeah, so it's the same as everything. THX certification and 35 to 20 kilohertz, and basically the same price. So that leaves us with the Harman Kardon SoundSticks. You can buy them used. These have been here for quite a while. Oh wow, the fourth one is out. I didn't even know that. I thought it was still on the 3 and then the wireless one, but the newest one is 200. So it is more expensive than the other two, but you could get used ones for about the same. The ones I've listened to are the older ones, like SoundSticks 2, I believe. Wait, let's just look at the specs for the 3, because they've reduced the, this is refurbished, but whatever. Computer speakers. Alright, so they only have the SoundSticks 4 and SoundSticks wireless. I honestly do not like what the 4 looks like, so let's go with the SoundSticks, because they're gonna give me the specs I'm trying to, or not. They're sold out, and Harman Kardon is being whacked. Or never mind, my Wi-Fi was being whacked. So let's look at the specs. So 4 watt idle, 65 watt maximum, so it's definitely going to be a quieter system. But remember this, with the wattage and RMS for SPL and then the actual loudness of a speaker, you're going to need basically not twice but 10 times the amount of power in order to make it sound twice as loud. It's not a linear, it's like a logarithmic curve. So the frequency response, the bass doesn't go as low, and it stops at 20 kilohertz as usual for speakers in this price range. You won't get the 40 kilohertz and then high resolution certification and all that with this. 6-inch woofer, the Klipsch is 6.5 and the Logitech is 7, but that doesn't really matter, satellite and this. So I'm going to stop recording my screen because this resolution is bad. Alright, stop recording. Now I'm basically going to give you my feedback for all 3 of these speakers. And I would say for these 3, they can be classified into, gaming, multimedia, and then music. So if we're going to categorize them into these 3 fields, the Logitech is the gaming speaker, the Klipsch is the multimedia speaker, and the SoundSticks are the speakers you're going to want for music. Or basically any music that isn't super bass heavy, like anything that isn't hip hop, I would say the SoundSticks will dominate. So the reason I say this is with the Logitech speakers, the sub is a little bigger, but that doesn't make much of a difference. It was basically the same as the Klipsch sub, if not just a tiny bit more bassy. The real difference between the Logitech Z623 and 625 and the Klipsch ProMedia is the Klipsch satellites have much better like high and mid-range sound than the Logitech. The Logitech satellites, they're basically just a mid-woofer. There's no like tweeter horn or Tractrix horn or anything like that. It's just one, like, I believe 2.5 or 3-inch woofer in there. So whenever you listen to music and everything, honestly, a lot of the treble gets missed out. So any like female vocals, any pop music, all that, it's just not really that good. But the bass is there. So if you're trying to listen to, you know, like hip hop and that stuff, when you're faded, it'll be fine. And especially for gaming, you know, just voices and stuff, I guess, it's good. And the subwoofer, THX certified, it'll give you like gunshots and explosions and everything will be perfect. And then coming to the Klipsch, so I'm basically ranking these in order from like worst to best in my opinion. It would be the Logitech, the Klipsch, then the Harman Kardon. But the Klipsch and Harman Kardon can be, you know, alternated depending on the use case. So with the Klipsch, the mid-range is kind of lacking because the crossover from the sub to the satellites aren't as good as they could be, I would say. And the satellites are quieter and smaller. I think it's a 3-inch driver along with the horn. So you do get like pretty crisp and clear treble response on the Klipsch satellites. But for music, it's pretty much fine. Newer pop and hip hop and stuff like that is great. Rock, not so much because of the missing mid-range. But then again, it makes up for it because it can basically do as well as the Logitech speakers when it comes to gaming with its THX sub and everything. So finally, we're going to go for the Harman Kardon SoundSticks. So with these, no matter which one you get, 1, 2, 3, the wireless, or 4, or whatever it is, I would say you're basically guaranteed to get better treble response and mid-range response with the Harman Kardons. If it's basically just for listening to music, or even if you want to do gaming and listen to music, but you like music that has a lot like rock music, instrumental music, older pop, female vocal music, the Harman Kardon's probably going to outdo all of them, unless maybe you turn down the, you know, bass on the Klipsch all the way down and equalize it, but still you're going to miss out on the mid-range. So let's do my final thoughts. If you just want, all three of these speakers are I would say good for their prices. So obviously the Logitech ones and the Klipsch ones are a bit older than what you could get from Harman Kardon with their SoundSticks lineup. But anyway, I would say if you want these computer speakers for gaming, you could basically just do whatever's cheapest. I would say for gaming, you would prefer the Logitech Z23, Z25, or the Klipsch ProMedia 2.1 over the Harman Kardon strictly for gaming. So basically just whichever one you can get cheaper, the Klipsch or the Logitech, just go for it. Then it comes to multimedia, you know, gaming and listening to music, just a all-rounder. That's the Klipsch ProMedia. You know, it has better treble and a better mid-range response than the Logitech. It's still pretty bass heavy, and it will give you the punch and explosions you want from gaming and all that. And it's still cheaper than the SoundSticks, so it's the mid category for all that. Finally, if you just want speakers for music, or you're used to like some like audiophile headphones and some of that, and you just want some computer speakers for gaming and then additional stuff, go for the SoundSticks. Harman Kardon, you know, makes great speakers for their prices. If you want the better treble and mid-range response and you're willing to give up just a little bit of bass and, you know, loudness and all that, the SoundSticks is the choice for you. So I hope I help you come to a decision on what kind of budget speaker you want to buy, you know, computer speaker, and I'll see you all in the next video.